What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. And yeah, I know. I apologize for still being black screen. I did everything in my power to try to get back to the normal screen where you can see my face, but for some reason it's keep preventing from me uh, doing or me showing my face and making these SNA podcast videos. And this never happened before from the last 7 months of doing the series. But I'm gonna try to put the end to this today video. It will be back on here and never return on my other next videos. But I'm gonna try anything in my power to get this black screen right off and try to get back where you can see my face again. But for now, I guess I'm just gonna have to talk about the wrestling news with a black screen for the second straight day in a row. Well, I promise you, I've been trying to find a way to get this off, but it's extremely impossible at the moment. But that's still not going to stop me from 6/20/24, where I'm going to be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the not ringside, Wrestling Inc. article. Make sure to watch it to the very end because it gets more and more interesting. Let's start off. We start off on today's wrestling news video on AEW announcing hiring for high-level backstage role. That AEW had added former WWE executive Kosha Irby to their was for 2 months later. Irby's role in AEW is now known. And sees him assume one of the top positions within the promotion. In a press release Tuesday morning, AEW owner Khan revealed that Irby had joined AEW as their chief operating officer. The role will have Irby including live events, marketing, finance, human resources. Brings decades of experience with the sports, entertainment, and wrestling industries, alongside incredible work ethic and passion for our brand. Said in a statement, as chief operating officer, he will be a phenomenal asset to AEW as we enter the next phase of the company's ongoing business department and expenses or expansion. I say expenses. I mean expansion. Irby had previously worked for WWE as their president and regional director of live events, holding the position from 2011 to 2018. Outside of wrestling, Irby had worked as chief marketing officer for Alliance of America, the International Bull Riding Organization, Professional Bull Riders, and Clemson University, where he from February 2023 till joining AEW. What are your thoughts on this executive employee from WWE of live events now being the chief operating officer on AEW? And they said he also worked for the international bull riding organizations, and also the worked in the Clemson University, which I'm not sure what exactly he was doing in the college, or I don't know what exactly he was doing at the University of Clemson, but he was working there. And also they said he was what's that? He also was the president of regional director of live events in WWE, and the and what else he did? And then he also was a chief marketing officer for the Alliance American Football League. And do you think he's going to have a successful run as chief operating officer? Let me know in the comments down below. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. Yeah, this guy was named exactly Kosha, Kosha Irby. Yeah. But yeah, so remember that name when that pops up in the mind, Kosha Irby, and he used to be an executive pres what's that president and regional director of live events in WWE. And do you think he's going to? Yeah, he's going to be the best executive in AEW. Like, and it seems like he was very decent, like in WWE until his 2018 departure. But but either way, let's hope for the best for the guy, and hopefully he can make AEW even more better than it already is. But let's move on to the next wrestling news. We got CM Punk news, which we talked about yesterday on my Raw review video, of some references on who made Drew McIntyre the chosen one. Takes a shot at Vince McMahon on WWE Raw. Will be on commentating at WrestleMania. With after being sidelined with a tore tricep. Immediately following Royal Rumble, 2024, CM Punk made his long-awaited return to WWE programming. Monday on WWE Raw. By the time the segment was over, Punk had both taken an indirect shot at former WWE/TKO executive chairman Vincent Kennedy McMahon, even though I didn't say Vincent Kennedy, but you get where I'm coming from, and found himself with a spot at the commentary table during WrestleMania 40's World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, of course. The best in the world took the microphone to call the various top star in WWE. Punk personally taunted Roman Reigns and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Drew McIntyre, but Scottish psychopath was the one to come out and put a pin in CM Punk one-man segment as the two exchange verbal bars. But things began to get heated. Once McIntyre invited and oh, sorry about that. It just went off. I don't understand why I did that. but yeah, anyways, sorry about that. But yeah, but but McIntyre claimed he was the chosen one, to which CM Punk dared McIntyre to say the name of the paragon of virtue, virtue who gave him that nickname. Like while nobody said McMahon's name, he is well known as the first person to refer to McIntyre as the chosen one on television. McMahon was recently removed from the company, like after becoming being what that mirrored mirrored in allegations of sexual sex trafficking and abuse. Like interestingly, like in contrast to recent reports, like about only The Rock being able to swear in his promo, Punk also used the word dip sugar honey iced tea, and no, not a sweet dessert that you put on your sweet refreshing beverage, but yeah, but anyways, for which McIntyre admonish him like with the word PG, brother. Which I said PG Punk, which I thought he said that, by which I was saying that's a shot at MJF. Let's hope he wasn't in, wasn't he didn't let that make him the mistake right there that I made, but. But yeah, back to the this report, and made a suggestive joke like about his wife, former WWE star AJ Lee. Tensions reached a boiling point as Drew McIntyre implored and joined the commentary guest commentator during the World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania 40. Rollins then joined the segment, and while the Chicago crowd seemed to vastly prefer to the ideas of CM Punk as a special guest referee, he ultimately commentary team, I meant to say, during the World Heavyweight Championship match between Rollins and McIntyre at WrestleMania 40. But the same could not be said for McIntyre shortly after Punk took his leave, curb stomp, or just the stomp. But what are your thoughts on CM Punk referencing the former chairman of WWE? And do you think that the Chicago fans knew who he was referring to? I think Drew McIntyre certainly knew who it was. Otherwise, if he didn't, he would have said like, "Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?" Which he obviously knew what Punk was talking about. Like it was obviously like Vince McMahon is the original man that came up with the nickname of Drew McIntyre being the chosen one, which that was his first nickname, and when he very first made his WWE debut, when Vince McMahon brought him up on SmackDown, like in brought him into his office. He's like, "This is the future of our company." Like, my apologies for saying that. It's like to watch their favorite Scotsman to become his first ever world champion. But now, if I would see that in this April, like if he can get the job done and beat the visionary, which I believe he can, and finally achieve that goal and dreams, more likely a goal, even though he said that he did clarify as a dream that he always had, like he'd be and with thousands of fans seeing him as the new world heavyweight champion. And do you think that the Scottish Warrior will indeed become the one that's going to be in attendance, if not over 100,000 fans? But yeah, let me know in the comments below about that. But I think that McIntyre will indeed will become the will indeed become the world heavyweight champion. Just a matter of time. And who I do think he do you think that CM Punk's gonna just be joining Michael Cole and Pat McAfee in commentary, or do you think he's gonna be a special guest referee? Because he did show the sign that even his dependable arm being hurt, he can still use his other arm that could be dependable on like calling the action, which and CM Punk's like, yeah, like it made like yeah, it would probably be somewhat cool now by the hands of Drew. That was caused by the hands of Drew McIntyre. And this is when CM Punk got onto his knees and started counting the 3 count. And this is where Drew McIntyre raised his hands up. He's like, if he does become the special guest referee, and that would be music to my ears to hear him count my pinfall finish and rewarding me as the new world heavyweight champion. Which that could happen, but I'm not sure that'll happen because he settled for being the special commentator. But you never know what could happen. Like he could transition from a special guest commentator to a special guest referee. Like it could happen at any moment during the match. Like who knows? Even though he may not have his moment in the main event spot, but he could have a moment at this year's WrestleMania, like with him on the action. Like, especially if like something happens to the original referee, he could fill in that spot, and he could say like, "I spoke to Adam Pearce," and he'd say like, "If anything happens to the referee, we had a little private talk. Like, if you somehow like either accidentally or purposely knock out the referee, I will fill in. And I'll count the pinfall finish." Yeah, only just a matter of time. Like if we're gonna see CM Punk in a black and white striped shirt at any time during the World Championship match at April 7th, I believe. But yeah, let's move on to the next wrestling news, and we got some Mark Henry news now as he says The Rock has made these WWE stars into side chicks. And we got some pretty hilarious and perhaps controversial words from the WWE Hall of Famer and the host of the co-host of the Busted Open Radio. My apologies to Tommy Dreamer and Bubba Ray and others. But anyways, while plenty of fans like and wrestling pundits like have been picking sides like regarding the feud between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline members, like most specifically The Rock and Roman Reigns, Power like has cast a shadow over the others. The debate began like after the WrestleMania unearned your usurp it Rock to only picked up steam steam like since pick up steam like since then as many wonder like whether the Rock's presence was enhanced like the star power of Rhodes, like Rollins and even Reigns, like or expose it as lacking, exposed as lacking. That's what I meant to say, but on the Busted Open Radio has been a place where the subject like has seen plenty of debate, and that was the case again this Monday when AEW's journalist backstage journalist Mark Henry weighed in on the situation, and Henry can counted among those who believe The Rock has made the regular WWE stars look a tad lesser when it comes to star power. When it comes to star power, of course. But anyway, he said, I feel like The Rock has come in and somewhat made Roman and Cody and Seth side chicks. Henry said, "The Rock is a polarizing figure, one of the most famous one of the most famous people on Earth. Like just by sight, like you look at him and you go, oh, that's The Rock. I saw him in this series. I saw him in this series. I saw him. He's Black Adam. Like the Rock is the Rock, and The Rock knows how to be a star. Some guys have become stars, like, but Rock always knows, always, I mean, already knows. Well, I said always, but yeah, but The Rock already knows the formula, and he's going to stick to the formula. The Rock star power, like, was the focus again, like last night on Monday when the Great One confronted Cody Rhodes. It, it at the start of the show, at the start of the show, then attacked him close to the show, to close, not close, close out the show, I should say, leaving the Royal Rumble winner in a bloody heap out in the pouring rain of Chicago. And what are your thoughts on Mark Henry's opinion of The Rock being being the what's it called? What's that? Being the star of the feud, I guess I could say. Should I say, what are your thoughts on Mark Henry? His opinions on his former Nation of Domination teammate, uh, like of being the star of the show, I guess I could say. Yeah, with everybody recognizing him on the mainstream and in Hollywood, and him being on plenty of movies such as Black Adam and what's that, Jungle Cruise and Moana, and just name all of them, and even the Fast and the Furious series. Even though he kind of took a break and he wasn't exactly on like the ninth one, and then he was barely on the second half of the 10th Fast and the Furious, which we're gonna probably see a sequel on that, which probably won't be Fast 11. It'll be more likely Fast 10 Part 2, which this is the first time we'll probably see a double sequel be released in Hollywood, like a double sequel, I guess I could say. But let me know about that in the comments below about Fast 10 being a double sequel, and also let me know what your thoughts on The Rock being the stars, making Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes as side chicks. And do you agree with Mark Henry, or do you think this is too much of a controversial opinion, even from a wrestling journalist like the world's strongest man is? Let me know about that in comments down below. Maybe he's being a little too controversial, but at the same time, he's looking at that perspective, saying like, "Oh, The Rock, like he's like," and even if some of them know who Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, then the Great One is. And again, what thoughts on that very extremely brutal beatdown that The Rock did on poor Cody Rhodes? His mama's nickname on it, like, which I'm trying to say it like Rock says when he called her Mama Rhodes, but it said it right on the belt. I should say Cody Rhodes' mother, Miss Michelle Rubio, like with her nickname written right in front of the belt with the Rock's custom Brahma Bull logo right in the middle of it, where it says Mama Rhodes, which is The Rock's belt, which he smeared some of Cody's blood on his head and put it on the belt. When him with him saying like, "This is the belt I'm giving to you at WrestleMania," and I was thinking to myself like if not next week in the Barclays Center, if that's only if his mother is attendant there. Like, and if she is, I could see Triple H beat Dolph Ziggler in that match on Raw. This is where Roman Reigns hit him with uppercuts, hit him face first right into the table like 20 different times, and then start beating and doing him right to Barry Barricade about a million times before Barry Barricade was even mentioned on in the IWC, or even existed in the IWC, I should say. Even though my boy Simon been making videos like since then, when this happened, like in 2016, of course, that's when he started, of course. But I'm not sure when it was. I'm not sure if it was before the brawling incident or even after, or even at the same time. But anyways, but yeah, he doing right to place to make him into a bloody mess. And I wouldn't be surprised if Cody Rhodes would do the same thing in 6 days from now at the go home edition of Monday Night Raw, and just to build things up and make this more heated, more intense. And like if they can make each other bleed, like imagine what they're gonna do at the Showcase of the Immortals when they're in this big tag team match with their respective partners, with that being Roman and Rollins. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about that. And and yeah, Mark Henry could have a point here, but let's hope that he's looking at a point of view, like talking about in the point of view of the fans that are like the Hollywood fans of the Rocks, and not just fully saying about everybody in the wrestling community. But let's move on to the next wrestling news, and we got some, because that would definitely be more of a controversial opinion. Even though it would be the world's strongest man's, but you be careful on what you can say unless you clarify where you're coming from at. And I hope that hopefully this is a clarification from the world's strongest man, like a clarification of an analogy of the fan base. But let's move on to his the news about his co-host of the Busted Open Radio, Bully Ray, uses WWE Attitude Era mantra to describe WrestleMania 40, like main event picture, like with both main events, like for this year's WWE WrestleMania 40 are centered like around the struggle like between Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline, with the Rhodes and Seth Rollins taking on Roman Reigns and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, all heavily involved in the saga, has continued heating up in anticipation of next weekend's major event. And the host of the Busted Open Radio, I feel confident the story is heading in a particular direction. Speaking on a recent episode of the Busted Open Radio, like Bully Ray summed up the situation by using the catchphrase you. But anyway, yeah. Well, he said nobody should trust anybody, or use the or use the catchphrase. From the Attitude Era, from a famous particular Attitude Era star. That's what he said. I mean, that's what it says right here on the article. But Billy Ray said, based on the promo from Smack Friday night, I get it. He said, nobody should trust. I don't trust anybody. and they've planted good enough seeds in each other's heads, to lead each one to have to kind of the sleep with one eye open. Bully's co-host and fellow WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry pointed out that through there have been hints and under avert like signals like of betrayal between Rhodes and Rollins, or with the bloodline. Like both he and Bully, I believe that one is in innovatable, and the moment will mean more if it's not clearly it was not clearly telegraphed like ahead of time. WrestleMania 40 is set to take place at Saturday and Sunday, April 6th and April 7th, and at what is it right here? In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Though there are other exciting feuds taking place, it's safe to say the event has largely been built around all them. Where is Sunday? Like, around all the storyline, like Rhodes and Rollins versus Rock and Reigns will bring night one to a close before Rhodes and Reigns battle on one in the following evening. Following evening's main event, like with the undisputed WWE Universal Championship up for grabs. What are your thoughts on Bully Ray? Understanding where this is coming from, like, and do you think this is like a don't trust anybody situation? I would have to agree with Bully Ray on that, because they got both The Rock and Seth Rollins kind of teased Trail when they put the L sign gesture, when The Rock did the number, pointed the B and pull out a thumb, like a sore thumb, like, and pun absolutely attended, along with Seth Rollins doing that, like the Monday afterwards with Bloodline to Cody Rhodes, and then when he was saying it, he had a hand up right in the air like this, and well, y'all cannot see it, but he tucked it down back in his fist, like inside his hands, I should say, or on his fist, I should say, and then this where he only had the finger opened up, with his index finger up, like pointing up to the sky, right after he fold his thumb back into his fist. When he while he did that, he had a big grin on his face, which we're not sure if he's about Seth Rollins having betrayal issues, because he did it to him 10 years ago. And even though that all changed about a decade ago, and Roman Reigns should move on and not stop dwelling in the past. And that's when Cody Rhodes was like, he may hate my guts, but he also hates you. But he hates you way more than me. That's what he said. Yeah. And he's the guy that used to been y'all used to been referred as brothers. And it's not because he hates you from like decades ago. I hate you now because you're the champion that's not really a true champion, and always makes excuses of not defending the championship more often than the tribal chief does. That I should be careful with Rollins. Like, he could betray me. What makes you so sure about The Rock? But what makes you so sure about The Rock? And you're asking me if you should trust Rollins. Like, can you trust your partner, the final boss? Like, and who's really in charge? Like, the tribal chief, or the final boss? And then this is where Roman Reigns then changed the subject, and staying in the subject, saying that you're you're saying the same thing week after week after week and stuff and blah blah blah, and don't want to accept the fact that he could stab him right in the back, just like Rollins. Like whenever the time is right for the People's Champ, or should I say the final boss, because now he's one of the TKO board members. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see, like who will be betraying who at the Showcase of the Immortal. Some just tells me that we could see Rollins betray. What's his name? The Rock will betray Reigns at night two. Yeah, like when he's fighting Cody Rhodes in the Bloodline Rules match. Like while the Usos will get too busy fighting off like the likes of like Jay Uso, John Cena, Randy Orton, or even returning certain what's that Long Island king, I guess you could say, and a certain indie god that's pretty much main event star in the indies, where if he can make that return and not as his former woo woo character. But yeah, but yeah, I'm just predicting that, brainstorming some ideas what could happen in order to put things together with Cody Rhodes finally finishing his story. But let's move on to the next wrestling news, and we got some Freddie Prinze Jr. news of him calls recent AEW acquisition the Tom Harley of pro wrestling, I guess you could say. Yeah, Tom Hardy. Yeah, Tom Hardy of pro wrestling. Yeah. AEW have made some big moves, so like haven't already secured Will Ospreay's signature before the end of 2023. Tony Khan has managed to bring in Kazuchika Okada and Mercedes Moné as well in recent weeks, as well as both bolstering his roster, like with official arrivals with the likes of Diana Perazzo, Brian Keith, and even Queen Aminata, which there are three talented individuals. Two of them are underrated, while one of them is a future AEW Women's Champion that's a former multi-time women's champion from places like TNA or even Impact Wrestling at the time, Manata and Brian Keith. But I'm not sure if I should use the word underrated. I need to find a better word that's like underrated, but not really much underrated. Like even though it might be like someone's underrated when that's not really a specific word or the specific term to use whatsoever. But anyways. However, of the signings like so far, like this year, on one name has stood out like above the rest in the eyes of fans, like critics, like and veterans like of the business. Like so much so that former WWE writer and Hollywood actor Freddie Prinze Jr. had a lot of kind words to say about Ospreay in particular on the Masked Man show. They signed the Tom Hart the Pro Wrestling. They got Will Ospreay, Prince said, and starting off, and they said and also the Scooby Doo star believes that WWE fumbled the chance to sign Ospreay, and it's gotten to the point where Prince doesn't care what Ospreay does on the show. He just wants to see him. He is he's electric. He has so much energy. You can tell he's hyped up. You can tell he's all in. Like he's completely committed to this. And yeah, man, they're on an upwing. Vince believes if Osprey can stay healthy and injury free, he he can he can come one of the biggest stars in the business shoes. He would strap him on a rocket to strap a rocket to Will Osprey, like that would propel propel him to the International Space Station. Like Osprey would get the chance to impress his fans, new and old, once again this Wednesday on AEW Dynamite. Will Osprey will for the first time since 2017. And who do you think is going to win that match on tomorrow night's AEW Dynamite? And I will indeed make an AEW Dynamite review like every single week. And also, what's your thoughts on Freddie Prinze Jr. His comments, high praise on the aerial assassin? And do you think Tony Khan should strap a metaphoric rocket on his back and fly him up to the moon and give him the push that he deserved, most specifically the AEW World Championship, or at least a championship that's very prestigious right now? What if that being the TNT Championship or even the Continental Crown Championship, either against the Rated R superstar Adam Cole or even the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada? Let me know about any of that in the comments down below. And what do you think? What Tony Khan should book him? And you agree with Freddie Prinze Jr.? Well, let's move on to the next one, which I would agree with him in a way, because Will Ospreay is red hot right now, even for being in a few matches, and even for those few matches, he's been putting on some massive bangers, like with the likes of Konosuke Takeshita, with his fellow Don Callis family members, like Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, which he's also teamed with him as the United Empire, alongside their Aussie Open. Their other Aussie Open member, what's his name? Mark Davis. That's what his name is, Mark Davis. But yeah, and it's only a matter of time we're going to be calling him a champion of some sort when now that he's officially all elite. And if whenever that happens, we're going to be seeing so many headlines in all professional wrestling. We possibly would see what's his name, Dave Meltzer will probably get 5 stars, even though Tony Khan's not that much eager. Well, maybe sometimes he's eager when Dave Meltzer give him 5 stars, but it kind of doesn't matter what a wrestling critic, let alone like a 30-year journalistic veteran like Meltzer, giving him such complimentary reviews. I would give Ospreay 5 stars if he can deliver like he did with Konosuke Takeshita, which I believe I gave him 5 stars on that review video on Revolution when he faced Konosuke Takeshita. And for Bryan Danielson, something just tells me if not 5, I'm giving them at least 4 full stars, if not 4.5, because they're going to be killing it in this match. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the match of the night, even though it may not be main event match, because I believe Ospreay did gave out little spoilers onto the match. Or was it Danielson? I think it was Ospreay that gave out some spoilers that it's all he knows is that, well, that's all he knows. But even if it was pre-taped right now, he would say that. But he probably knows that's exactly in the bookings. It's not going to be the main event, but at least make it the opener. Make it a memorable match that fans will see. Even if it was on the mid card, it still would probably be a memorable contest, be perhaps the greatest match in AEW, more greater than perhaps against Kenny Omega, maybe even Chris Jericho, and even Orange Cassidy when he made his AEW debut back a couple years ago at Forbidden Door. Who knows? Only time will tell when we will be called champion of some sort, if it's the mid card or the World Championship itself. But let's move on. And we got some WWE Hall of Famer Booker T weighs in on The Rock's heel performance, and as WrestleMania 40 gets closer and closer, the takes surrounding The Rock and Cody Rhodes, and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, seems to get hotter and hotter. The the four key players in night one's WrestleMania main event have been all all anyone's been able to talk about ever since, regarding how Rollins stacked up against Rock's star power, and whether Rock has led to those talents, whether those talents coming off as secondary. One person who isn't concerned about any of that is Booker T himself, like the man who once uh, saw his fifth reign as WCW World Heavyweight Champion in the podcast. Booker T moved past some of the commentary regarding Rock overshadowing WWE's full-time stars, instead focusing on the great job he feels Rock has been. Booker believes it's made for one of the most exciting builds to WrestleMania in recent memory. And Booker T said, a lot of people got a lot of things to say about The Rock. Me, personally, I think The Rock's doing some really great work as far as being a heel, not buying into the way people look at it today, but the way he went out and did it, back in the day, and seeing if it still works. Me personally, outside looking in, it's got everybody buzzing. Everybody's up. It is one of the most intriguing WrestleManias, the most intriguing WrestleMania seasons that we've been in quite some time. And do you agree with The Rock? And does The Rock's heel run is intriguing you as well? Let me know in the comments down below. And did they really hate him or not? And or if they're just playing along with the People's Champ, playing along with him, I should say, most specifically, and he continuing being a horrible person on WWE programming, and but in real life, he's more cooler. When you meet him on the street, he's like any of the other typical heels that you possibly would ever meet, in private places. They'll be absolutely nice to you, and then it'll be cool to hang out with you. But when they're on that camera, they do the complete opposite. If they really are an a-hole that don't want to be bothered by the fans, or even by their fellow wrestling colleagues, at least the baby faces, the fellow babyface colleagues, I should say, yeah. And but in reality, when the camera's not going, they're the complete opposite. The best way to describe the scenario. But let me know in the comments down below if Booker T has a point here, and he personally still thinks that he's doing a great and fantastic job as him do what he do, except heel version, something that we haven't seen him be in from the past 20 years, which was the last time was probably when he was in a program with Goldberg, which that was 2003. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what you think he's doing an impressive job. And yeah, he's doing a good job, and he does not care if the fans really mean their hatred to him or not. He's just playing a role that WWE is booking him to do, and he's doing the job. He's entertaining the fans at the end of the day, especially coming up with those catchphrases, with with him calling the fans Cody crybabies and yeah, nicknames I should say, with calling Cody Rhodes the biggest crybaby of them all, and his new best friend Seth Rollins is the clown emoji. And then yeah, and Seth Rollins clapped back and said, and what's that? The Red Cross charity organization that he was working with Oprah with, like, but with when they were helping out the lives of those who lost their homes from that wildfire, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, he was making clear references from that, and then what he was more awesome before you even came here, like LA Knight said, and well, he didn't say it to him like face to face, but he did say it like to the fans at a recent live event. He took a page out of LA Knight's playbook. He's the guy that's been accused of taking pages out of the Great One and the Rattlesnakes playbook, right, from haven't used since the Attitude Era, I suppose. But anyways, Hollywood like making movies, continue to make, like, we were the ones that were sailing the ship like of this company, and yeah, like, and they were like, don't get me wrong, like he is adding to that, like, and he's continuing he is making it cool in a way, but he's adding it rather than being the what's that what's that the beam supporter, like, of carrying the what's that like being the supporter of the bridge, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's carrying the bridge, that's allowing like cars or trains or or any other vehicles, like transportable vehicles, like, to go through on, metaphorically, of course. But yeah, and yeah, let's move on to the next wrestling news, and let's talk about Dave Meltzer's like, we'll talk about Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer assesses the blood spot from the end of Raw last night. WWE Raw went off the air last night with a bloodied angle, like, involving Cody Rhodes and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, featuring a level of violence, like, and censored profanity, like, that you that that's that's unusual, like, for the modern era of WWE. But speaking on today's Wrestling Observer newsletter, with Dave Meltzer, I offered his perspective, on the show ending segment, with him saying Johnson can literally do anything he wants, no matter what, no matter what. How many times do you get a blood angle like that in WWE? Since his uh, uh since his appointment to the TKO board of directors earlier this year, uh, and rejoined WWE as a wrestler, there's uh, there's been much discussion about Johnson being given free reign behind the scenes, like that. That includes the what's that, the lie the what's that the the li- the liberal use of cursing, like, in his promos, like, but Johnson recently denied, like, that he was ruffling any feathers, like, with his swearing. Like, Meltzer compared Johnson's ability to control his creative direction in WWE to that of Brock Lesnar. Like, though Lesnar is currently fact, factored out like of the company, that or he's factored out of the company's plans due to his alleged involvement in the Vince McMahon sex trafficking scandal. He once had a great deal of uh, of of cat of catches of catch uh, uh, a cache of which within WWE, with Johnson now sitting on the company's board. Meltzer feels that the Rock can essentially do whatever he wants in WWE. The the Wrestling Observer host believes Johnson was given the green light to take things up a notch during last night's Raw in the lead up to WWE WrestleMania 40 because the company can't say no. With WWE Raw, like in 2 episodes of SmackDown, the the main event of night one will see Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins battling The Rock and Roman Reigns in a tag team match before Rhodes and Reigns face off in a singles action at night two. And what are your thoughts on uh, Dave Meltzer's perspective on Rock's creative decisions of him having having what's that creative freedom onto his role in the storyline against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, alongside his cousin Roman Reigns, and do you think he has some kind of creative freedom, like that he can swear up a storm whenever and whatever he wants? And do you think that he can do whatever he wants when it comes to blood use? I mean, even if The Rock wasn't there and if he didn't did the spot, they still would use blood angles like through time to time. Just look at Nia Jax versus Becky Lynch, for example, with Nia Jax sucker punching Becky Lynch right in the jaw, which made her start bleeding in internally, like with blood dripping out of her mouth, like after getting hit with a right hand on the day one edition of Raw. And also, what other blood spot they had? I believe it was in a spot like when it was that triple threat match between Randy Orton and AJ Styles in LA Knight. It was on accident. It was with LA Knight getting bloody hard way, like when he got busted open the hard way by AJ Styles accidentally kneeing him right into the face and then cutting him up right into the forehead, I believe. And do you think that it's just? Do you think it's going to be a one-off, or do you think it's going to be for anybody that's going to be that could be in a match angle segment? They just need to be in a it needs to be planned beforehand. Or do you think it's the special treatment of the Great One? Let me know what y'all's opinions are in the comments down below. If you agree with Meltzer, or do you think that it could go for anybody, considering the new regime and no more Vince McMahon within these silly rules, like for them not to use blood, or else they would be fined $25,000. But luckily for the WWE superstars, like as long as it's probably part of the plan, like they have to be fined like that much money, like for doing the spot on WWE television. And then, do you think Cody Rhodes is gonna get it back in blood, like against the People's Champion? No pun intended to you, Pooh Shiesty, if you're watching my video right now. But I'm just saying, like Cody Rhodes is probably going to seek some. My point is, like, he's going to seek some revenge on The Rock and probably literally try to beat the blood out of him, like and try to squeeze it out of him, like if he's a bloody turnip. No, there's no blood in turnips, like obviously, but. It's just a metaphoric statement, of course, but I can see him doing that. What if it's on next week's Raw, the go home, which is also the go home edition before WrestleMania, or it could be at night one or even night two. That he could beat him up in a bloody. But let's move on, and we're going to talk about the final news for today, which we got multiple promotions took old crossover like event like under United Japan Pro Wrestling banner. And it says right here, Japanese wrestling promotion have had their fair share of rivalries over the years, like uh, with Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba, like famously have two completely different in I idologies, ideologies, I guess it's pronounced. Hopefully, I pronounced that correctly. Like that led to the formation of New Japan and All Japan Pro Wrestling, respectively, in the 70s. However, in recent years, many promotions, like in Japan, have seen the benefits of collaboration, like in working together with United Japan Pro Wrestling in late 2023, and in the inaugural event, like for the group, has been announced, like inauguration, like in Noto earthquake benefit event will take place with NJPW, Stardom, Noah, DDT, Dragon Gates, and Big Japan Pro Wrestling, all confirmed to have wrestlers taking part. The event, the name suggests a portion of the proceeds, like from the event, will be donated to the victims of the earthquake that hit in Noto Peninsula region of northern Japan, like on January 1st. And a number of matches like have already been announced for the event, with more expected to, which has been stated. The all-together name like was first used in 2011 when New Japan Pro Wrestling and Noah and All Japan Pro Wrestling joined forces for a charity event, all in Nippon Budokan, like, which is where the 2024 event will take place. Like there were also all together events in 2012 and 2023, with the proceeds like going to charity on both occasions. All Japan Pro Wrestling, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, and Ganbear Pro Wrestling are also members of the of the UJ Pro. Will play a part in the second event. The group intends to hold titled ho, 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 Hokai, Hokai, Kita Yale, and Spiro on all these Japan-based promotions coming together for a charity event to donate to the earthquake in the northern part of the country. Let me know in the comments down below, and hopefully they do a successful job and they do a fantastic and fantabulous job of making a difference and donating to those who was the victim of the earthquake and also lost something or someone during the during the bad weather in that time. I'm not sure if it's more likely just the world shaking. I guess the world shaking at that time, and yeah, hopefully that will never happen ever again, like in that area. But yeah, I hope for the best for them, and I hope and pray that they make that difference, and hopefully they do indeed make them sure the goal is not over, like so we can have enough to donate to the unfortunate that's in Japan right now. Like no matter what their charity is going to go to, hopefully they donated to them and then be in a and put them in a very fortunate position, I guess you could say. Yeah, and even for them, I'm not sure if it will put them in a more fortunate, perhaps lead them up and make them and get them somehow out of the unfortunate situation, if you know what I mean. But in the meantime, yeah, I want to wish them the best of luck, if not the blessed of luck. Let me rephrase that. And and yeah, hopefully we get the and hopefully we will see all these companies like Joshi Pro and what's called DDT Pro and Wrestling Noah and one big Japanese wrestling event. Do you think they're gonna be an all-time success on this? Let me know in the comments down below, and I would suggest you guys wish them the blessed of luck as well. And yes, sir and ma'am, that's the end of your wrestling news video and of the day on March 26th. And which one was your favorite out of this list? If I had to pick one, I would give it to maybe CM Punk. I'll give it to CM Punk with the CM Punk news of him referencing Vince McMahon on TV, saying like who gave Drew McIntyre his chosen one nickname, which McIntyre then and gave a big grin and then shook his head. He was like, "I'm not allowed to say that." And then what made me laugh is CM Punk also said, like, "Are you the Scottish psychopath in a kilt or the internet troll in a skirt? Like, get in the ring." And then this is where Drew McIntyre responded saying, "Like, you could get canceled for saying stuff like that." Like, so I'll be careful choosing my words. Which that's very hilarious too. Like that segment, I'll say that was my favorite segment of the night, along with Jey Uso against Shinsuke Nakamura. And if I didn't say it on last night's episode but I did indeed say that was my favorite match, which was main event Jey Uso. But let me know what y'all's favorite wrestling news report was in the comments down below. I just thought that was an interesting and entertaining line from the Chicago-made star. Maybe he shouldn't reference much about the former chairman of the board, but do occasional times, like when it makes sense, then you would. How could you dare refuse of enjoying CM Punk's promo? Like as long as it's like a feel good moment and it's not insulting nobody or there's not no insults or like anybody that would take offense to that, like other than the wrestlers, I guess I could say. Like as long as he's being entertaining, as long as he be respectfully saying it, and yeah, and other stuff like that, like then there's no harm to anybody, especially somebody that's different from us guys. And besides, like if anything, he's a supporter for those that are different. Yeah, so he's not like he said something offensive. So like, but it could be a little bit of a problem, but he's not overly doing it. That's the thing. Like that's why he makes it very intriguing, because he does it in a way that makes sense, and that's not going to that's going to catch some backlash from the fans and for us IWC fans right here, which we're going to give him high praise for being such an entertaining figure. Even though he's not in the ring performing, like he can still use his voice to entertain the fans, and that shows that the best in the world don't have to be the best in the world in the ring just to be known as the best in the world. But anyways, I'm gonna talk more about that in the next video. And if you like this video, please make sure to hit the big thumbs up button and subscribe and click the bell notification icon bell so you can be the first one to know when I upload my latest videos. I'm sorry for the screen being black. I promise you I'm going to try to figure out how to fix this issue and end this once and for all before it continues to begin, like this horror of the black screen on my videos. But yeah, but again, hopefully you guys having a great rest of your day on this lovely Tuesday, March 26th afternoon. And I'll see you next time with some more SNA content. And make sure to check out my NXT review video on the road to Stand and Deliver. But in the meantime, Superintendent Austin out, and yeah, stay good to yourself and stay tuned for and keep on YouTubing and assassinating. And yeah, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.